I don't remember the first guy, but I remember the dressing room because we had the monitor right inside there were two curtains, about a 10, 15-foot span between them, pitch black between them, by the way, and then the second curtain that went into the dressing room. And we had a table right there to the right as you walked in that had the monitor on it. And as I walked in, the dressing room was, all standing there waiting. And there was like a sort of slow, like, dissolve from disbelief to awe to then applause. I think it was sort of, I'm sure there was a lot of mixed emotions in the dressing room, not sure what the hell I just did. And then Paul very quickly jumped in. Paul was the first one I interacted with. Paul came over and, was like hustling me through because he didn't want me to have Corluzzo get any, to get me off to himself. And, Corluzzo came in steaming mad, as you can imagine. And Paul very quickly, I had no idea which way Paul was going to go with it. My thought would have been Paul was just going to fuck off. You tried to fuck us, now you got your receipt. But instead, Paul very quickly grabbed Charlie with the handheld camera and said, no, we got to, it's all an angle. We got to shoot a promo with you. And he had Corluzzo shoot a promo saying that he didn't care what just happened. Shane Douglas is the NWA champion, and he's going to meet with the board of directors and this and that and the other thing and all the rest of it. And as I recall it, because he was hustling out the door. Like Paul was getting him out the door that way. But there was, I think once it settled into the dressing room, everybody realized. I remember Taz coming up and saying, "What a ballsy thing to do," or gutsy. I forget which one he used, but Taz probably ballsy. But there was a lot of that in the dressing room. There was very seldom second guessing. I don't recall, if any, times anybody coming back and saying, "I can't believe we're going this direction. Why the fuck did you do that?" It was just it was a family, and everybody was on board.
And it would take a while for Corluzzo and Heyman to not even try to bury the hatchet. I know that Jim Cornette has an infamous story about how he was kind of broached as the almost like he was going to be the intermediary between these two, just patching things up for the good of all that was sacred in the business. But I don't think it necessarily happened before Dennis Corluzzo would pass away a while ago now. I mean, he's been gone for quite a while. But what was the aftermath? Let's just say August 28th. 1994. Are you getting phone calls from people who are starting to hear about it? Are the kayfabe journalists calling you? Are the real journalists calling you? What's the response outside of Philadelphia on August 28th, 1994?
There was quite a few requests for interviews. I can't recall which ones I did and didn't do. I do remember in very short order, if not the next day, within the next few days, I started calling the people, like Ricky Steamboat and Terry Funk and the guys that I knew, and to let them know this was nothing against their legacy. This was an ECW angle. It was all about building ECW. And, Terry Funk had said something to me like, I wonder what the hell you were doing, but, I get it, like along those lines. And I just didn't want any of those guys to think that I was showing them any disrespect because there was none intended and none meant. I wanted to make sure that they knew that, and I asked them to spread that around to the people that I didn't have phone numbers for, or whatever, to let them all know that.